Alright, shalom to the elect. I want to start by giving all the praises, honor, and glory to whom it rightfully belongs, which is Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rachakwadash. Yahweh is the true name of the Heavenly Father. Yahweh is the one the world ignorantly calls God. So, Yah means he, and Hawa means to be or exist. So Yahweh's name means he is, or he to be, or he exists. And he is not a so-called white man, he's a so-called black man. Bahashem means in the name, Ba means in, Ha means the, and Shem means name. Right? And Yahweh Shai is the true name of the Messiah. Yahweh Shai is the one the world ignorantly calls Jesus. Yah means he, and Yahweh Shai means save or deliver. So Yahweh Shai's name means he is the savior or he is the deliverer. Alright? And Yahweh Shai also is not a so-called white man, he's a so-called black man. Alright? And Bahashem once again meaning in the name, and Ruach Kodash means Holy Spirit. Ruach means spirit and Kodash means holy. So I said all the praises, honor, and glory belongs to Yahweh in the name of Yahweh Shai in the name of the Holy Spirit. That belongs to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that rule well. Peace, blessings, and salutations to the elect. And this lesson comes from, I was doing a job and I had heard Jake talking to another Jake pretty much about something involving, a so-called white woman or something like that. And pretty much the Jake was saying he don't like them people, and them people he referring to as Esau, the Edomites, so-called white people. He said he doesn't like them. And he said until, he said something along the lines of until my people get straight, then, and then the other woman that he was talking to, which was a Jake, she said, yeah, 40 acres and a mule. And I'm just listening and meditating and stuff like that, and I was just thinking to myself, and then I think either there or while I wasn't there, or afterwards, this parable came in my head about Lazarus and the rich man. This is a parable, okay? This is a parable, man, all right? So, hey, I'm gonna go into it, because I was just thinking, man, if only Jake understood, and I want to get some, some in the curses, some scriptures, in the curses as well. But if only I was thinking to myself, if only Jake understood, if only Jake understood. That's one of the thoughts that came into my head, because Jake, don't understand that they're under the curses. This is why when they come together, black people, not even just so-called black people, but Jake as a whole, so-called Negroes, West Indians, Haitians, Latinos, Native American, and Seminole Indians, come together. They can't come together. Anything we do, for the most part, fails. All right. The reason that we're in this deplorable condition that our people are in, all right, goes back to the curses. All right. But this parable came into my head as well. The Lord wanted this lesson edifying. This is Luke chapter 16, starting at verse 19. It says, there was a certain rich man which was clothed in purple and fine linen and fared sumptuously every day. Actually, let me get this in a blue letter Bible. All right. Because this, man that was clothed in fine linen, this rich man, all right, once again, this is a parable. All right. Contrition. Me and a brother, Kahan, we had some Christians run up to us, while brothers were out, out and about, after camp and stuff, relaxing and stuff like that. Some Christians had run up to us. We were telling them hell ain't real, We had gotten into it a little bit, all right? And one of these parables is what came up, all right? But, some Christians try to say that, this is, pretty much what they were saying is, before Yahweh Shai was to say the parable, let me say it again. They said before Yahweh Shai was to say a parable, he would announce that he's going to say the parable, which is not true. All right. See, they don't have the understanding. All right. But it says, but nevertheless, Luke 16:19, it says, there was a rich man who, let me get in the KJV. Yeah, Luke 16:19. There was a certain rich man which was clothed in purple and fine linen and fared sumptuously every day. All right, once again, this parable of Lazarus and the rich man, this is going into Jacob and Esau. Okay, the nation of Israel and the nation of Edom. Okay, which the nation of Edom are so-called white people. Right, the nation of Israel are so-called Negroes, West Indians, Haitians, Latinos, Native American, and Seminole Indians. All right, you know, and somebody might say, well, those are all multiple people. You know, those are all multiple peoples. No, I mean the thing is, in this society, you know, the way things are now, you know, they lump us all together, or slack, they lump us differently, saying, oh, this person is that person is, you know, this person, for example, this person is Mexican. You know, these are Mexican people, those are black people, those are Native American people. When really, according to the Bible, we're all the same nation. All right, you know, the specific people I just mentioned. All right, peoples. All right, but it says there was a certain rich man which was clothed in purple and fine linen, and purple represents royalty, okay, or rulership. All right, now let me get this, precept upon precept. Actually, let me pull that one out. This is Psalms 119 and 104. It says, through thy precepts I get understanding, therefore I hate every false way. You know, and that's the way we understand the scriptures. You know, you can't read the scriptures like a novel. You know, you have to get another scripture to back up, you know, what you, another scripture when you bringing it out. This is Isaiah chapter 28, verse 10. For precept must be upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line, line upon line, here little and there little, right? You know, people call it, jumping. Christians call it jumping, but really, that's how you're supposed to read the Bible. You can't read it like a novel, all right? But this is the book of Job, chapter 9, and verse 24. And it says, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked, right? So now, it says the earth is given to the hand of the wicked. Yeah, all right? And according to Malachi, let's get that real quick. Malachi 1 and 4. It says, whereas Edom saith we are impoverished. And Edom, once again, are so-called white people. You know, that's their biblical identity. Not white people, not Greeks, not Romans. No, Edomites, all right? You know, not Russians, all right? You know, they're these are the same nation of people going under different names, okay? But the so-called white people, all right, are Edomites. That's their biblical identity. All right, and it says, whereas Edom saith we are impoverished, all right, they were impoverished. Pretty much what this is going back to is during the Dark Ages, or also referred to as the Middle Ages, okay? During that time period, the so-called white man was over there in Europe living, like a degenerate, as Job the 30th chapter tells you about, the so-called white man. He was living over there in the Caucasus Mountains, picking off things off the trees, living in caves. And right there's even a book, I believe it goes into it, it's lucky if I'm wrong. I want to say the 13th Tribe, Salaki if I'm wrong, by Arthur Koestler. All right, Salaki if I'm wrong, but I think I heard a brother refer to it saying that it goes into it. But nevertheless, all right, this is what they had done, and that was during the Middle Ages, okay? It says, but we will return and build the desolate places, right? So that's talking about the Renaissance, which the word Renaissance means rebirth, okay? Rebirth, all right, of what? The so-called white man's rulership, because what happened before the Middle Ages? They were ruling as what? The Roman Empire, once again. This is the same nation of people, all right, aka the Edomites, but they calling themselves different things like Greeks, Romans, okay? Even some in today's terms, Russians, Italians. No, they're so-called white people, But, it says, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. All right, so they had the Renaissance. It says, thus saith Yahweh of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down. Here's the point, and they shall call them the border of wickedness. Right, the border of wickedness. So this right here confirms that the so-called white man, all right, is also called the wicked. All right, because wherever the so-called white man goes, wickedness follows. All right, they the so-called white man, he has wickedness within him. Let me get a precept. Salakia. This is Proverbs chapter 4, verse 16. For they sleep not, except they have done mischief, and their sleep is taken away, unless they cause some to fall. You see? The so-called white man is just wicked like that. All right? You know? He's a wicked being. He's called the wicked. All right? So now let's go back to Job. Job chapter 9 and verse 24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. All right? So now we can see. Right now, we have some understanding. The wicked being the so-called white man. So it says the earth is given into the hand of the wicked, right? Because the so-called white man. So what does that mean? He's ruling. He has rulership over the planet Earth currently. You know. Of course, we know that the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, all right, and Yahweh Shai reigns supreme, all right. You know, if I don't want to misconstrue my words I just said, but we also know Yahweh Shai is under Yahweh, okay. But we know that the Lord, Yahweh, we know that Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai, all right, rules and controls the whole earth, all right. But he set up, because the Lord is the one that puts the nations in power. He set up the so-called white man to rule for a specific time, okay, for a specific time period, all right. That's why it says here, Job 9:24, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. So they have rulership. All right. So when we read back in Luke 16 about 16 and 19, it says there was a certain rich man which was clothed in purple, meaning rulership. So we know that this is one priest, or not one, but I pretty much now we understand, this is a clue on finding out who this rich man is, all right, which is showing that this rich man is the so-called white man, all right. It says, and fine linen and fared sumptuously every day, all right. So now let's look at this word sumptuously.
Strong's G 2988, Lampros.
It says splendidly, magnificently, of sumptuous living, all right, figuratively, luxuriously. Under Strong's definition down here, it says brilliantly, i.e. figuratively, luxuriously, sumptuously. All right, so let's look up this word sumptuously online. Sumptuously, it says extremely costly, rich, luxurious, or magnificent. Okay, so now let's understand this. This is the book of Genesis, the 27th chapter, and they said the stolen blessing. It wasn't stolen, man. It was set up by the Lord. All right. But Genesis chapter 27, starting at verse 38 down to 39 is the point. All right. But it says, and Esau said unto his father, because when you read, Jacob, one of the forefathers of the nation of the Israelites, all right, the nation of Israel, all right, this was set up by the Lord to do, okay, but pretty much what happened was, Isaac was gonna bless Jacob and Esau, right, and pretty much the blessing that was pretty much what happened was Jacob, because Jacob in the Hebrew, as Esau said earlier, all right, a couple verses above this, Jacob in the Hebrew is Yaquab, and it means supplanter. All right, now let's look at that word supplant. All right. Supplant definition. It says supersede and replace. All right. What does it mean to supplant someone? To take the place of and serve as a substitute for, especially by reason of superior excellence or power. Superior. All right. Let me get this. Merriam-Webster dictionary for the word supplant. It says to supersede. What supersede means. You have to look up words, as our apostle noted, the great millstone tell you, to get a better understanding. All right, but supersede means to take the place of a person or thing previously in authority or use, supplant. All right, so pretty much to get over on another, especially by force or treachery. Now, what is treachery? Treachery, it says betrayal of trust, deceptive action or nature. Deceptive in the sense of, like for example, another another example of supplanting is how us, Israelite men, so for example, so-called black, Hispanic, Native American men, we will supplant our women some of the time, which when we want to deal with another woman at the same time, which there's nothing wrong with having more than one woman. All right, this society just looks down upon it. All right, but the Lord doesn't see anything wrong with it. All right, but the thing is, right, an example how we would supplant them. You want to deal with your woman. All right, you'll tell the woman that you have. You want to deal with another woman, right? And you'll tell the woman that you have currently. You'll say, you know what, I'm gonna go to the store. And then she's like, all right, whatever. All right, and then meanwhile, you're really going to hang out with another woman. That's an example of supplant. To pretty much get over on somebody. Get over meaning, the trying to look for the word to say it, but it's deception in a way. All right, but Esau, pretty much the blessing here was, this blessing, was gonna go to Esau, but Jacob, all right, had supplanted, and his mother had helped him, all right, and Jacob got the better blessing, okay, and Esau ended up getting the lesser blessing, but ultimately all of these things was meant all of these things were meant, all right, and controlled by Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, all right. So, Genesis 27:38, it says, and Esau said unto his father, hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, behold. So this is now going to the blessing that Esau is going to have, right? It says, and Isaac his father answered and said unto him, behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth. Right, now let's look at this word fatness. Okay. Now the Hebrew word here is mashmun, if I'm saying that right, but it's Strong's H4924. All right, and it says fatness, fat piece, fertile place, richly prepared food, fatness, fat pieces. All right. Fertile spots or places. Okay. Let me see what it says down here. Fatness of the earth. All right. Let me see. Goes back to, it says Shaman. All right, bear with me just 1 second. But pretty much, this devil, he was blessed, the so-called white man, he was blessed with, the fatness of the earth, so that's why, he pretty much has the riches of the earth, he has the, the pretty much, he has the, he would have the riches of the earth, he would live in luxury, have servants and things. You look at these so-called white people, man, just look at the way that they live, Yeah, there are some, there are some so-called white people that don't have, or are still, struggling, whatnot, but they're just two-time losers, because after America goes down, the Israelites are coming into power, and all of the Edomites are going into slavery, all right? Like a brother says, them trying to get right now, them trying to do right and be an upstanding citizen now. Hey, look, man, your ass going into slavery, man. You a two-time loser, You living check to check and stuff like that. Yeah, you a two-time loser, all right? But the fatness of the earth, these devils, they have the riches of the earth, they live in luxury, have servants. And what does the earth provide? Gold, minerals, etc. Okay. They also get to enjoy the wonders of the world. They go anywhere in the world they want to. They get to enjoy the fullness of the planet. All right, aka the fatness of the earth. Look, It even says here, fatness, fat peace, fertile place. Let me just type this in on Google. And I want to do another lesson going into Lazarus and the rich man. Cause I saw something today on Instagram. So I'm gonna do another lesson going into it. Let me just see. Let me just look at this. All right. This is global soil regions. All right. What are the most fertile soils around the world? It says there are a few countries in the world that are considered the most arable. Being arable means that these countries have some of the most fertile lands in the world. 10 of the most fertile countries include Bangladesh, Denmark, the Ukraine, Moldova, India, Hungary, Rwanda, Comoros, Togo, and Gambia. All right, and these are all different places around the world. Okay. When have you seen a so-called black, Hispanic, Native American man just, be able to up and leave to go visit one of these places if they want, or have control of these places, and reap the benefits of these places if they wanted to, and other different fertile lands around the world. Okay. And it says fertile place, richly prepared food, and that's look, another thing too. When you see these different luxurious spots around the world, they have these foods and everything like that, man. They have these nice luxurious foods that may cost a lot. Esau can buy it. Esau can eat it. They can afford to have that. Okay. Fertile spots or places. All the luxuriousness, all the riches and minerals of the earth Esau has, he gets to enjoy all of that. They have the fatness of the earth. Okay. Bear me 1 second. All right. So now we should have a clear understanding who this rich man is. All right. So now back to Luke 16:19. There was a certain rich man which was clothed in purple and fine linen and fared sumptuously every day. All right. And sumptuously means luxuriously. So-called white man. Hey man. That's the so-called white man. It's extremely costly, rich, luxurious, or magnificent. That's how they live. Just look at them. They have big mansions and houses with cars, and even if they don't, they still have a lot more than what the average person has. And they boast in it as well. They have big pools in the back of their yard. They have nice cars and things like that. So look at how they live, man. That's the rich man, Esau. All right, now it says verse 20, and there was a certain beggar named Lazarus, which was laid at his gate full of sores. Okay, and Lazarus in the Hebrew, all right, is this. It goes back to, see, I'm going to show you some root word etymology, probably a Hebrew origin, and it says Allah Izar, all right, which Allah means God and Izar means to help, all right. So it says God has helped. All right, or God helps. All right, and Lazarus is a representation of the nation of Israel. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 115, in verse 9, and it says, "O Israel, trust thou in Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai. He is their help and their shield." You see, the Lord helps the nation of Israel. All right, He's the Lord is the nation of Israel's help. All right, And then another, precept that shows that Lazarus is talking about the Israelites, all right, because it says was a certain beggar, okay, a certain beggar, all right. let me get this. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, and verse 48. It says, "Therefore thou shalt thou serve thine enemies, which Yahweh shall send against thee in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in want of all things." Yeah, and I'm gonna just pause right there. So this is one of the curses that came upon the Israelites. All right. Pretty much one of the curses that we would have to go to this so-called white man, to for food. We gotta go to his stores and stuff to buy food. Okay. We want clothing, we gotta go to his stores and stuff to get clothing. We want these things. It said in one of all things. Hey, look, you want a car, a house, these things you gotta go to the so-called white man to buy. You see? You want to know why Jake don't have, any stores of themselves? Well, this is one of the curses. It said we don't have any black-owned businesses or anything like that. Oh, these are some of the curses right here. That goes back to the curses. All right. And it's another curse in here, Deuteronomy 28, and but with that, I wanted to mainly use that precept, to show, pretty much the Israelites in that begging condition, okay? In that, condition of a beggar, because we got to go to the devil for anything we want. A beggar, when you look at a beggar on the street, they ask other people, to give them things, okay? So now back to Luke 16, all right, and 20 again, it says, "And there was a certain beggar named Lazarus, which was laid at his gate," all right, laid at his gate, full of sores. All right, now with this, all right, and the sores is the curses that's on us Israelites. All right. So here, so right now, all right, Lazarus is in subjection to the rich man. All right. You see, Lazarus is in subjection to the rich man. All right, us Israelites, we are currently in subjection to the so-called white man. All right. Verse 21 now says, "In desire." So, so when that Jake had said that, until our people get straight, hey, look, to be honest, our people, ain't going to really be living good until the kingdom. Okay. Until Yahweh Shah comes back. All right. Then we're going to be living good. All right. And these curses are going to be off of us. You see, we can't live good with these curses on us. It's impossible. There are some people, there are some Jakes that, may have lots of money, or, they have their own businesses, but still the curses even affect them. But let me get this. Is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 68. And the point is in the last part, all right, of the chapter where it says, "And no man shall buy you," all right? No man shall buy you, meaning no man shall redeem you, all right, or get you out of the condition that you're in, all right? So nobody will get us out of this condition that we're in except for Yahweh Shai. So until Yahweh Shai returns, our people ain't going to be good. People are not going to be straight, for the most part, all right? There are some, but however, there are some Israelites, that, do good. They are living kind of good. They may live a kind of wealthy, but still, in one way or another, there's a lot of curses, man. Verse 16 through 68, there are a lot of curses. All right. So, in one way or another, the curse is still going to affect them. Okay. But there is no doubt that the rich man is Esau and Lazarus is the nation of Israel. All right, so verse 21, it says, "And desiring to be fed with the crumbs which fell from the rich man's table." Right, the crumbs, being what? Pretty much those little things, Jake desires, all right, to survive in society, like welfare, Section 8, government assistance, food stamps, all right? That's something that Jake, that people make fun of Jake for, food stamp this, welfare that, And check this out. Being that Lazarus is the rich man, Salakia. Being that Lazarus here is, is the beggar, all right? And the beggar would be what? In a poor condition, all right? And some of those crumbs being things like welfare, government assistance, food stamps, Snap EBT. Let me get this. This is the book of Job, chapter 20 and verse 10. His children shall seek to please the poor. You see? The poor talking about the Israelites. You see? It says, and his children shall seek to please the poor. All right? How? They would give us, things like, once again, SNAP, EBT, food stamps, welfare, government assistance, those type of things. All right? And the poor is the Israelites. Okay? So Jake, desires those things. Okay? And even different things, Jake desires, those things. That's the little things that Jake gets, those little crumbs, to help them within society. All right? Help them live in society and stuff. All right? But, even, some of our people that, have $1 million deals on rapping and, they make a lot of money off of basketball and sports and stuff like that. All that money that they have compared to what the elites have. All right, the elites of Esau, the international banking families, they, the money that Jake has compared to their money is nothing but a crumb. All right, they have trillions, and I don't know, more than that. Okay, more than trillions of dollars. Talking about hundreds of thousands of trillions of dollars, man. All right, but it says, moreover, the dogs came and licked his sores, and the dogs is talking about the the heathens, okay, the heathen nations. They come and lick, our sores. Pretty much what they do is they they send they come into our neighbor. They pretty much take advantage of us, okay, knowing it or not. They take advantage of us. All right. Let me look this up. Exploit definition. Exploit. It says make full use of and derive benefit from a resource. Right. They they benefit off of our poor condition. Off of the condition that our people are in. Some examples, all right, is pretty much look at the so-called Chinese man, right? Which the Chinese are heathens, all right? They are in the scriptures known as the nation of Moab, all right? In Hebrew, Mawa'aba, all right? And they come in our store, they come in our neighborhoods, all right? And they give us what they call Chinese food, and they have, they names on the restaurant, whatever type of names, the Golden Dragon, etc. Those different types of names or whatever. And they give us, their nasty food, man. They cut up cats and shit in the back, and try to say it's chicken. And so I don't eat Chinese food. If I ever do, it's nothing but broccoli and rice. That's it. Or maybe a chicken wing. Okay, and I'd be sketchy even about that. But they come in to our neighborhoods, they sell us that. Okay. And you wonder, I seen Jake on Instagram the other day, he was pretty much saying, how come we always see black people in a Chinese store? We don't never see Chinese people in a Chinese store. You would think if it's Chinese food, pretty much you would think if it's Chinese food, Chinese people would want to eat it too, right? So, but that right there tells you that what they're feeding you ain't what they eat. Niggas love that, man. They love eating that Chinese food, man. And you look at it, these stores be dirty and nasty, man. But another example is how and also too with the Chinese and things, and I believe maybe even some Japanese probably too do this as well. But they sell our women, the weave, the sewings, the lace fronts and all of that. They sell our people that in the neighborhoods, Our women go to them to get fake nails, okay? Those acrylic nail shits, all right? They take advantage of our condition. Hamites, they they even be on the street, trying to sell you stuff sometimes, okay? Hamites are the actual so-called Africans. All right, so-called black people and Hamites are not the same people. We're Israelites and they're not. All right, you know they try to sell you, sell us stuff. Okay, the heathens, they pretty much take advantage of us. All right, but verse 22 it says, and it came to pass that the beggar died, and was carried by the angels into Abraham's bosom. The rich man also died and was buried. Okay, so the beggar Lazarus, it said he died, but so what does that mean? That means pretty much this is talking about when our condition, all right, pretty much was talking about how do I say it? We're pretty much is the end of us being in this condition. It's talking about the end of us being in this condition. So there is an end to our condition coming, to this low down condition that us Israelites are in. There's an end to that. Okay. And it says the rich man also died and was buried, right? So there's also an end to there's a death or end to the so-called white man's rulership and his sumptuousness or luxuriousness. Okay. You see? So one, we're not always going to be in this condition, or in this low down, poor condition that our people are in. Jake right now in this condition is like a extremely sickly person, wounds all over him, trying to hold himself up, but needs help, And Esau right now is like, once again, a rich man, living his best life, but there's going to come an end to that. It's going to come an end to our condition that we're in, and it's going to come an end to this devil's condition, you see? And you look around the world today, these things have to happen before we actually trade places, because it's going to get into, pretty much that, we're going to be in rulership and have power. Okay, we're going to live luxurious, all right? And the Edomites, they're going to be in slavery. They're going to be in chains. They're going to go through these curses, all right? And so I'm going to keep reading. Luke 16:23 says that in hell, I'm going to read verse 22 again. It says, and it came to pass that the beggar died and was carried by the angels into Abraham's bosom. The rich man also died and was buried. All right. And in hell, he lift up his eyes. Now, hell is not talking about some place under the world that you go when you die. All right. Look, I'm going to get a couple precepts. This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 12 and verse 7. It says, then shall the dust return to the earth as it was, and the spirit shall return unto Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, who gave it. All right. So when you die, you go back to the spirit world. All right. Or in other words, the third heaven, which is where the Heavenly Father dwells at. All right. When you die, that's where everybody's spirits goes. All right. Now let me get a precept. This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 3. And starting at verse 19, it says, for that which befalleth the sons of men befalleth beasts, even one thing befalleth them, and that's death. It says, as the one dieth, so dieth the other. Yea, they all have. So see, it's talking about death. It says, yea, they have all one breath. So that a man that a man hath no preeminence above a beast, for all is vanity. Right, verse 20 says, all go unto one place, talking about the grave, all of the dust, and all turn to dust again. Okay. Verse 21, here's the point. Who knoweth the spirit of man that goeth upward? And it didn't say a righteous or a wicked man, because the common thing that Christianity teaches is that if you're righteous, you go to heaven. If you're wicked, you go to hell. And that's false. Righteous and wicked people go to the third heaven. Okay? Whether people want to believe it or not. See? You don't have to believe that that there's, pretty much you don't have to believe that. Okay? This is the system the Lord has set up to happen. It's a system, okay, that Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai has put over mankind to happen. All right. So when we die, our spirit returns to the spirit world. All right. And our flesh, gets here, decomposes, the worms eat it, etc. All right. So that happens to people, right? It says, in the spirit of the beast that goeth downward to the earth. So what is that talking about? What it's talking about is that animals, when they die, their spirit, stays here. They pretty much just come back. Their spirit stays here. They don't go up to the spirit world. They stay here and they come back. Reincarnation is a thing. Okay. That also helps, but like people, because you look at some people, their animals and pets die, but they don't have any understanding, that pretty much, after they die, they come right back. They're reincarnated, being born somewhere else, but the pit person, it is a sad thing, when your pets die or whatnot, but it's people all distraught over it, but hey, it's a system the Lord has, okay? So, but the point being that there is no such thing as hell, okay? When it says, so like, when let me say it again, when there's no such thing as hell, is in some place you burn up after you die. Here it is, you're already a spirit, all right? You're already pure energy, you're already fire, all right? But you're going to go somewhere and burn forever in fire? How does that make sense? That doesn't make sense, man. All right. Let me get this real quick. This is 1 Samuel chapter 28. Starting at verse Actually, I'm going to get right to the point. 1 Samuel chapter 28. Starting at verse 15, it says, Samuel said to Saul, all right, this is talking about the righteous prophet Samuel, and this is, so this is concerning the righteous prophet Samuel and the wicked King Saul, okay? And anybody, if you know about the scriptures, you know about King Saul, you know some of the wicked things that he did, right? So here it is. But at this point in the scriptures, the prophet Samuel had already died, okay? So it says, here, verse 15, it says, Samuel said to Saul, why hast thou disquieted me? You read back in the chapters, he had already died, but pretty much Saul had went to, it says, pretty much, I'll read this verse 8, 1 Samuel 28 and 8. And Saul disguised himself and put on other raiment, and he went, and 2 men with him, and they came to the woman by night. And he said, I pray thee, divine unto me by the familiar spirit, and bring me him up, whom I shall name unto thee. You see? There was a woman that had a familiar spirit, okay? So now, I'm going to get to the point, verse 15. It says, as Samuel said to Saul, all right, so I'm just trying to see where I get some background. But, you can read this story, all right? But however, here's the point, okay? Being that the prophet Samuel was a righteous man and King Saul was a wicked man, okay? And according to Christianity, once again, if you're righteous, you go to heaven. If you're wicked, you go to hell, right? Well, let's see what the Bible says about that. Verse 19, moreover, Yahweh will also deliver Israel with thee into the hand of the Philistines. And tomorrow, so pretty much Samuel was telling King Saul, the wicked King Saul, let me say that again. Pretty much the righteous prophet Samuel was telling the wicked King Saul that the Lord is going to deliver Israel with you into the hand of the Philistines. Then he said, and tomorrow shalt thou and thy sons be with me. Okay? So it said tomorrow, next day, you and your sons are going to be with me because King Saul and his sons would die. Okay? But here's the thing. But here's the thing, though. The prophet Samuel, he was in the spirit world, right? And he's righteous. So if Christianity's doctrine of hell, if you're a wicked person, you go to hell. If Christianity's doctrine of hell was real, then why did the righteous prophet Samuel, who was in heaven, tell the wicked King Saul that pretty much he's going to die, him and his sons, and tomorrow they're going to be where the righteous prophet Samuel is, which is in heaven. You see, this is in the Bible, so this proves that Christianity's doctrine of hell is not real. All right. So now, this is the book of Luke, chapter 16, and verse 23. It says, and in hell, he lifted up his eyes. So what is this talking about? Because hell is either the grave or a bad condition. All right, but in this case, it's talking about a bad condition. Now, here we got hell, okay, and it was as apostles. Now, was a great millstone took us to look up words. I'm gonna go down to here, showing you that it doesn't mean just some place under the earth you go to after you die, because the scriptures don't talk about that. All right, so this is on Edom Online, aka the Etymology Online Dictionary. Right now, it says here. It's like I'm gonna just holler so you can see what I'm reading. In Middle English, it's like here. Why is it doing this, man? All right, Middle English, also the limbus patrum, place where the patriarchs, prophets, etc. where the atonement. It says used in the KJV for Old Testament, Salakia. Used in the KJV for Old Testament Hebrew Sheol, and New Testament Greek Hades, Gehenna. Used figuratively for state of misery, and it says state of misery, any bad experience. You see? State of misery, any bad experience. All right? So what is it talking about? And in hell he lifts up his eyes, being in torments, because these so-called white people, all right, the so-called white man, he's going to go into slavery. Okay? He's going to go into slavery, man. It's Revelation, the 13th chapter. When you understand Revelation 13, it's one of the main people that's being talked about is the so-called white man, Esau, right? So Revelation chapter 13, starting at verse 9 through 10. If any man have an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. All right, let's look at this word captivity.
Strong's G 161. Achmalosia. Achmalosia.
All right, Achmalosia says captivity. Root word says a captive. This is the root word of it.
Strong's G 164. Achmalotas. Achmalotas.
Maltos, and it says a captive. Strong's definition says a spear and a derivative of the same as G259 says properly a prisoner of war, i.e. genitive a captive. Yeah, when you have a prisoner of war, you take him captive. He's your slave. Okay. Do I even need to look it up online? Captivity definition. It says the condition of being imprisoned or confined. All right. It says imprisonment, custody. But you see this synonym here. It says slavery. You see the state of being a slave. So the so-called white man is going into slavery. All right. And guess what? This is Revelation chapter 18 and verse 5 through 6. It says, for her sins have reached unto heaven, and Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai hath remembered her iniquities. Okay, and this chapter goes into the destruction of America, which is Babylon the Great. All right, and it says, and one of them, so everything America has done from the time of slavery forward, all right, the Lord has remembered. These devils talk about forget slavery, but the Lord has remembered her iniquities. You look online. Let me type it in. I think Apostle Gabar had looked it up before. What is America's original sin? It says documents most closely associated with the creation of the United States, the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution, present a problem with which Americans have been contending from the country's beginning, from the start of the country, from the very beginning, with this problem, all right, that has has not been yet rectified, all right, has this a problem with which Americans have been contending from the country's beginning, how to reconcile the values espoused in those texts with the United States' original sin of slavery. Okay? America's original sin is slavery. All right? That's America's original sin, which they're trying to push off. Okay? So, hey, the Lord remembers all of that. Okay? Even might say talk about forget slavery a long time ago, but it says, and the Most High hath remembered her iniquities. Okay? And so check this out, verse 6. Reward her, even as she rewarded you. Right. And one of the things, how did they reward us? With slavery. The people who rule this country of America, which is what? Which is who? The Edomites, the so-called white man. They're the ones in charge of this country of America, the USA. Right? And they rewarded us with what? Slavery. Did they not take us in slavery? Yes, they did. Everybody knows about it. It says, reward her, even as she rewarded you. And double unto her, double according to her works. And the cup which she hath filled, fill to her double. So they took us in slavery, so they got to go in slavery, man. See, the Lord is just. The Lord is a just power. A just God, man. And these devils, as well as the rest of the heathen nations, they have messed with the Lord's chosen people, Just. All right, it says morally righteous, upright, righteous in the eyes of the Most High. Also equitable, fair. See, impartial in one's dealing, fair. Yeah, it's fair for them to go in slavery, because they did it to us. They came and slaughtered our people, even over here, in the rest of the Americas. The Native Americans all the way down to the Latin tribes. Then they brought so-called blacks, so-called Negroes, West Indians, and Haitians. All right, they brought them from on slave ships and sent them to different parts of the world. All right, and that was despicable and horrible conditions that we had to endure in those slave ships. Okay, and yes, we are those people coming back. All right, because reincarnation is the thing. All right. But the point being, slavery, they took us into slavery, man. So they have to go into slavery. That's the hell. That's the, what did it say? Let's look it up. Let's look at it. Let's look at it again. All right. Said what? State of misery. Any bad experience. Yeah, that's a bad experience for them. They're going to have a very bad experience in captivity. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, man. The curse is going to be put on them. Okay. They're going to be building our kingdom up. Look what they did to us in slavery. Now we're going to rule over them in righteousness. We're not going to be buck breaking them. All right. We're not going to be doing that or sleeping with another man's woman. They have a wife. We're not going to be sleeping, taking his wife, sleeping with her and stuff like that. We're not gonna be doing that in front of them, we're gonna rule over them in righteousness, okay? But we're gonna be whipping them, okay? They're all the way down from their young to their the most elderly of them, okay? They're gonna be slaves, man. They're gonna be carrying heavy loads. All right, hey man, we gonna make y'all work, and this is in the kingdom. This is after Yahweh Shai returns. Right now, we can't do nothing. All right, we ain't gonna do nothing until Yahweh Shai returns. All right, but in the kingdom of heaven, yeah, man, we're gonna make you devils. We're gonna make you work 3 days in a row or more. Okay, we're gonna be putting hell upon you. Okay, yeah. You see, and man, can we wait? It's like, man, we can't. Man, we so eager. Okay, I tell you, we eager, man. All right, because y'all did us dirty. Okay, It did us dirty ain't even good enough to words to explain what has been done to our people. All right, but hell, you're gonna experience slavery. That's gonna be hell for you. You're not gonna be in power. All right, you're not gonna be making any world decisions. Okay, as you do now. I hate seeing that, man. A devil. All a so-called white person, the worst of the worst, man. They just have the ability to control what goes on in the world. They don't know how to rule the world even, Look at the state of the world, This is Proverbs 29:2. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. Yeah, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice, man. But people ain't rejoicing right now. Because why? It says, but when the wicked bears rule, we know who the wicked is. We read it, Malachi 1:4. The people mourn, Yeah, when the wicked are in rulership, the world is in a mourning state, So even the animals ain't living good, okay? But when the righteous get into authority, Yahushua, King David, the rest of the elect, 144,000, when they get in power, the world is going to be a better place, okay? Right now, it's the opposite of that because the wicked is in power. But the Lord is coming to break their power, man. All right, let me look at that word authority. Rabbah, and it says, to be or become great, be or become many. All right. Be many, to be numerous, multiply, increase, bring up, to give much, to make great. All right. But, authority. Okay. So back to the parable. Luke 16. Salakia. Luke chapter 16 and verse 23 says, and in hell, he lifted up his eyes, you see, being in torments and seeth Abraham afar off. So this is when the devil goes into slavery. It says, and seeth Abraham afar off and Lazarus in his bosom. All right. And he cried and said, Father Abraham. This should show you that it's talking about Esau, okay? Because Abraham had Isaac as well, all right? And then Abraham also had Jacob and Esau. Okay, Esau first and then Jacob, all right? Well, Esau came out first and then Jacob, all right? So Abraham is a father of Esau, all right? He would be his grandfather, okay? So the fact that he says, Father Abraham, have mercy on me, okay? The fact that he said Father Abraham, that should show you that it's talking about Esau, okay? But it says, and he cried and said, Father Abraham, have mercy on me, and send Lazarus that he may dip the tip of his finger in water and cool my tongue, for I am tormented in this flame. And what it's saying is, pretty much they're gonna want mercy when they're in slavery. They're gonna want mercy, all right? And they will be showed none, okay? They're not gonna be showed mercy, all right? They're gonna do what the fuck we say, and if they have a problem with it, all right, we're gonna put a foot in their ass, man. Hey, they did that to us. They literally did that to us, man. Imagine being a slave back in those days, and if you had spoke saying, man, I don't fucking want to do this out loud to the slave master, imagine what he would have done to you. So it's only right that, when Yahushua returns and he steps with the kingdom and takes him in slavery, we can do that to them. All right? And I said about the curses being on put on them. Just get it real quick. This is Deuteronomy chapter 30 and verse 7. And Yahweh thy power will put up Yahweh our power, right? The power of us Israelites, the God of us Israelites, will put all these curses, Deuteronomy 28, verses 16 on down to 68. It says, we'll put all these curses upon thine enemies. Who are the enemies of the nation of Israel? Psalm 83 tells you a few. And one of the first nations that's named are the Edomites, so-called white people. So it says, the Lord gonna put these curses upon thy enemies and on them that hate thee. Yeah, these devils hate us, These devils hate us, man. They hate us Israelites. It tells you in Genesis 27, Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith he was blessed with. Roughly paraphrasing. It says, which persecuted thee. All right. So these curses are going to be put on them. They're going to be packed up in slave ships. All right. Like sardines, etc. All right. But these devils, they're not going to receive mercy in the kingdom. All right. They didn't show us any mercy. So there is no mercy for them. But Luke 16 and Luke chapter 16 and verse 25 says, "But Abraham said, Son, remember that thou in thy lifetime receivest thy good things, and likewise Lazarus evil things." Right? Right now they living good. They have a kingdom. They got their kingdom going on. They living sumptuously still, right? And it says, likewise Lazarus evil things. Yeah, we the ones catching hell. Okay, we the ones going through the horrible conditions, man. Our people. All right, it says, but now he is comforted and thou art tormented, right? Because we're going to be in power. We're going to be living comfortably and righteously. We're going to be living good. And these devils, they're the ones that's going to be living. They're the ones going to be a slave, living in slavery, tormented. You see, so the roles are going to flip. You see, that's the thing these devils don't understand. It's going to flip, man. And they never going to re-flip after that. This ain't no flip over and over and over. This ain't this ain't checkers, man. All right. This is Lamentations chapter 4, starting at verse 21. "Rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom, as dwellest in the land of Uz." Yeah, rejoice. You have your kingdom now. You have your kingdom, man. All right. You have your this is your kingdom. You see. That's why you being a two-time loser, because you're gonna lose, and you definitely gonna lose in the kingdom to come. But right now you have your kingdom. And if you ain't winning in this kingdom, being an Edomite, then you a two-time loser, man. I says, "O daughter of Edom that dwellest in the land of Uz, the cup also shall pass through unto thee. Thou shalt be drunken and shalt make thyself naked." All right. And the cup is talking about slavery. You see, the cup of slavery. Slavery is going to come to you, so-called white people, and the rest of you heathen nations. It tells you in Jeremiah. I'm gonna get it real quick. Jeremiah chapter 30 and verse 16. It says, "Therefore all they that devour thee shall be devoured, and all thine adversaries, every one of them, shall go into captivity." Right. All of these nations are going to go into slavery under the nation of Israel. It says, "And they that spoil thee shall be a spoil, and all that prey upon thee will I give for a prey." All right. So back in Lamentations chapter 4 and verse 22, it says, "The punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion. He will no more carry thee away into captivity. He will visit thine iniquity, O daughter of Edom. He will discover thy sins." Right. So our punishment, which we still have a little bit left to go, but our punishment is basically at an end. All right. And we're about to come into power, and these devils are about to go into rulership, but our punishment is about to end. And we ain't never, ever, 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 ever going back into slavery. Okay? Never again after this, all right? Never again. We're always going to be in rulership from this point forward. From the point, to when Yahushua returns, and beams of his leg changes them, takes down these nations and everything, from that point on, they, from pretty much, let me just say, after this slavery, after this captivity we go through has ended, we will never ever go back into slavery ever again. We will never have to experience no more bad times for the nation of Israel ever again. Okay? So I'm ending with this. Get right to the point. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 6. Matter of fact, start from verse 7 to verse 9. It says, "Then answered I and said, What shall be the parting asunder of the times? Or when shall be the end of the first and the beginning of it that followeth?" So the prophet Ezra is asking, when is it going to be the end of this devil's rulership and the beginning of the kingdom of heaven? Verse 8, it says that he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau. Right? Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau. Going back to that story in Genesis 25, you read about that. Jacob held Esau's heel, and that was symbolic of us Israelites pulling them out of power. Okay? Verse 9, it says, for Esau is the end of the world. And the world, talking about a period of time. Because the word world doesn't only mean the whole earth. Ecclesiastes 1:4 tells you that the earth abideth forever. So earth is always going to be here. All right, but it's talking about a period of time. In the Greek, another word for world is eon, which means period of time or age. All right. So Esau is the end of the world. Esau is the end of his age. And Jacob, the Israelites, it says at the beginning of it that followeth. So after this devil goes down, we're the next. Us so-called Negroes, West Indians, Haitians, Latinos, Native American, and Seminole Indians, we are the next people that are going to rule over the planet Earth. Okay, we're going to be the next ruling power over the earth. Not China, not Russia, none of them. No, the Israelites forevermore. All right, because in the midst of this next world war, Yahweh Shai is going to return and he's going to deliver his elect. All right, and also he's going to take down these different heathen nations, then take their rulership down, and they're going to be slaves. Okay, so yeah, man. So that's I wanted to go into that. All right. So Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. I want to give all the praises, honor, and glory to whom it rightfully belongs, which is Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that rule well. Peace, blessings, and salutations to the elect. Shalom to the elect.